few months ago, I created this in Blender 3D. This is a recreation of one of my favorite scenes from the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I recreated the scene in Blender and used my own characters, models, lighting, and animation as well. Today I want to show you a little bit of how I made this scene, but first, let's watch through the whole thing together, shall we? Here goes. If you can finish this, you're coming with me. Watch and learn. This scene gets me every time, man. From here on out, I'm gonna kind of show you how I went about making this scene. This isn't really gonna be a step-by-step tutorial, per se. It's gonna be kind of more of a workflow showcase, as well as showing little tips and tricks. But anyway, let's get right into it. Alright, so starting off here in Blender, I'll show you the layout of the entirety of the scene. So first thing I did actually was, so I started a blend file, and I started building all of the individual blocks and assets that would be used in the scene. From there, I began to build the scene kind of like you would a Minecraft build. It's all, everything's kind of just made up of a bunch of cubes, which is actually very true to the actual film. One thing that is kind of interesting is that, here, I'll get rid of the sun. So I found out actually after watching the movie scene about 40 plus times in the making of this, but the developers of the Mario movie actually cheated a lot. What they did was they actually would move blocks in between certain scenes, which I actually did not do. I kept one consistent build throughout, which it ends up looking a bit different than it does in that one shot from the movie where like all of the things are together. The only thing that did change was the positioning of these bullet blasters here. Nearing the end, they all show up kind of at the end, but yeah, so that I kind of moved in towards the end of the scene there. Moving outside of the obstacle course, you could see the background. I kept it relatively basic, so if you actually watch the scene from the actual movie, you'd know that they had miles and miles of these really detailed hills. Well, my computer doesn't exactly have that kind of processing power. So what I did was I just made all of the mountains in the background just these 2D planes. You can't even really tell at all if you're looking from far away. And also, I did the same thing with the clouds. I made them just a 2D plane as well. For a lot of the terrain, I just used these just a bunch of rocks. Along with that, I built these two simple, really not that detailed mushroom models, as well as these bushes, and I just used a particle system to make many of them. So I tried to keep everything as relatively low poly as possible, just so it'd run better on my system. Also, actually, one last thing that goes worth noting is you'll see if you look up here that Princess Peach's castle is yeah, I went pretty minimalistic with it. I was just kind of put a couple of towers up there and said, yep, that's good. One thing that I would have changed, made better, is if you look at this waterfall, I feel like I went pretty bare bones on the waterfall, but it wasn't really shown prominently in any of the shots, so I figured I could go pretty basic with it. So moving on to the animation, which is one of my my personal favorite parts of the entire process. The part that was the most exciting for me because I really wanted to recreate the awesome animation that I saw from the original film. The Mario movie was so well animated that I was watching it in the theater, I was just blown away. So I kind of wanted to recreate that kind of, you know, jumpy, refined, like super just appealing look. So I started off with my channel mascot, Sparky Slicktail here. He was the main character out. He kind of was in the role of Princess Peach. I figured since she got to show her set of platforming skills, why not Sparky get to do that as well? So I started actually by creating some original run cycles just for this project in particular, which I gotta say was very proud of, and I actually love them so much that I've still been using them since then. But then from there, I just continued to, you know, animate around. I kept it as closely as possible to the original in terms of like choreography. I did change up some things here and there. because Princess Peach and Sparky are two completely different characters. I wanted to really show Sparky's personality in his movement, so I kind of made him a little bit more jumpy, because you'll see in one shot in particular, there was a part where Princess Peach kind of, you know, she ran sort of like pristinely, held her dress, and walked very lightly, where Sparky's a bit more of a jumpy go-getter guy, and I thought that would sell his character better. I also kept the part with the piranha plants almost the same as well. One of my favorite little spots is if you look near the end, you'll see the part right when Sparky completes the course. I actually made the ending quite a bit different. So in the original film version, Princess Peach kind of does this like graceful little like float down to the platform, where with Sparky, he doesn't have any method of flotation. So I kind of just made him just fall in like a cartoon stylistic way after doing like a nice little 360. Thought that would kind of, you know, compliment his character well. And then he also brushes off his hands just because he's, you know, trying to tell everyone, yep, yeah, I just did that, and that was easy. So moving on to lighting, and this part is going to be pretty short because the lighting in the scene was really basic, actually. You'd be surprised. Pretty much all there was just one sun, which the sun actually isn't casting any light. I just kind of have it there just for looks. What's really casting the light is this one sun lamp right here, which is what's actually giving the entire scene its color. See, if I were to turn it off, there'd be no lighting at all, and it looks like complete garbage. And then other than that, all I included was this nice gradient background for the skybox, but really that's all there was to it for the lighting. It was kind of the easiest part of this entire project. So now it's time to focus on camera work. So this is actually one portion that is actually a huge improvement over my last scene that I recreated a few months back. You might remember I did actually a scene recreation from The Bad Guys, one of my other favorite animated movies. By the way, if you want to see me do a scene breakdown of my Bad Guys videos, let me know in the comments below. Yeah, I'd love to do that. But one thing that I had a problem with in that one was that a lot of the shots the timing was off. That was because I just watched the video online and just kind of freehanded it and just did what worked. It didn't quite line up 100%. But with this, I got it almost to the exact frame of the actual film. And how I did that is actually, I used this really cheeky method. I recorded a video, like screen recorded, the scene from the movie. And then what I did was I actually attached that scene to a plane, and then just a flat plane, and then just attach that to the camera. So you'll notice that it matches just about spot on. It is just a little bit off, but because of this, I was able to get it down to frame perfect precision. You can even see like right there, like how much that matches up to the original scene. It's like pretty much spot on. And even this shot here, that one where it zooms in on him, look at that. Alright, well anyway, that about wraps it up for my Mario movie scene breakdown and analysis. If you want to see me do more content like this in the future, just comment down below. Alright, well I'll be seeing you guys all in the next one. See ya!